Christ is in our midst. I wanted to greet all our brothers and sisters in Christ this week and just take an opportunity to say Chronia Pola for all those named Evangelos and Evangelia, and for all of those of us who are of Greek extraction this week. As we know, our church celebrates a great feast of our church this week, actually in 2 days. On Thursday, the feast of the Annunciation. And the Annunciation was not simply the moment when the Archangel Gabriel came to speak to the Virgin Mary. It's not his announcement that we are celebrating, but the response of the Virgin Mary. The response in the affirmative, of course, saying yes to the Archangel Gabriel. That is why it is known as the Annunciation of the Theotokos. So we celebrate that on Thursday, March 25th this week. And for those of us, again, who are of Greek extraction, we celebrate every year Greek Independence Day on March 25th, the start of the Greek Revolution, which began in 1821. This year, however, there is a milestone year. It is the Bicentennial of the Greek Revolution this year. And I can't help but be filled a little bit this week with a lot of emotion as, of course, a Greek Orthodox Christian, but also as a Greek American. When I was younger, I remember in Greek school, every year that March 25th rolled around, or the Sunday closest to it, our Greek school kids would do poems, and in one particular year we did a play about the Greek Revolution and about freedom and independence. And you might recall having seen this painting. It's a very famous painting. And it's a painting, of course, of a priest who is teaching children underground. I think the title of the painting, if I'm not mistaken, is called To Krifos Scholio, the Secret School. And this is a painting that was done, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, to generate sympathy for the Greek cause around the world during the Ottoman occupation, which lasted 400 years in Greece. The reason that this painting is significant, the reason that it was done as a play when I was a kid, is because we remember, as Greeks, the role that the church played during the occupation. And for that matter, there are other instances throughout history in which the church has played such a crucial role in the struggle against oppression and tyranny and under the yoke of slavery for Christians. Of course, we hear this in the Roman Empire. We heard stories like this in the Soviet Union. If no one has ever heard of Father Arseny, who was a Russian Orthodox priest in a gulag, who brought hope and comfort to the prisoners there and lived even after the war was finished, was able to be freed again afterwards along with others with him. It's an incredible story and a very miraculous one. I'm not sure if he's been canonized in the Russian church, but nevertheless, people like him throughout history have played roles in the struggle for freedom and bringing comfort in darkness, bringing light in darkness. The church in Greece, we hear stories about moments like this. In this case, in this painting, a priest was literally underground, either in someone's house or perhaps in the basement of a church or in the basement of someone's house during the Ottoman occupation, teaching Greek children, Orthodox children, about their faith. And in the middle of this, talking about all the light and the hope that the church brings. We know that the church was involved in beginning the revolution as well. The first battle that broke out was in southern Peloponnesos, and the bishop of that area, Germanos, was the one who first of all prayed with the soldiers and even blessed their armor and their weapons before going into battle. And there's a very famous painting of Bishop Germanos raising the Greek flag of independence, and thus beginning the 7-year revolutionary war for the modern nation of Greece. So these people have become heroes in our culture and in the history, and the church, of course, played a role in, again, pushing back against the darkness. Another individual that we might remember as a famous revolutionary was Athanasios Diacos. Now, he was a soldier, but his last name was Diacos, which means someone in his family was a deacon, either a father, grandfather, great-grandfather, who knows. So the church was in the midst of all of this, and again, as we see in that painting, and as our children have celebrated and have, commemorated in plays and stages and poems, we know that the church played a role in this, and we celebrate that because the message here that I extract from this, and this is one of the reasons that the feasts this week mean so much to me personally, is because it's a message of hope. It's a message that the church brings hope where there is none. And this is such an important struggle and an important point to remember. Something that we probably could identify with ourselves to a lesser degree, albeit nowadays, in a very difficult and challenging circumstance that we find ourselves in today. Even today, the church brings hope. And so this should be celebrated. And we should remember this both as Orthodox Christians, but also as Greek Americans. Αγαπητοί μου αδελφοί, φέτος όταν γιορτάζει η Ελλάδα την 25η Μαρτίου, που θυμόμαστε που ελευθερώθηκε η Ελλάδα το 1821, θυμάμαι μια φορά από μικρός στο ελληνικό σχολείο που είχαμε μεγαλώνοντας, που λέγαμε ποίηματα στην εκκλησία και θυμόμαστε και διαβάζαμε για τους ήρωες του 21 και θυμόμαστε το ρόλο που έπαιξε τότε η εκκλησία όταν ελευθερώθηκε η πατρίδα μας. Η εκκλησία ειδικά υπάρχει να δίνει φως και να δίνει ελπίδα. Έτσι αυτό ακριβώς έκανε η εκκλησία το 21 στο πόλεμο και μετά και πριν βέβαια σε όλη την ιστορία μας. Και γι' αυτό θυμόμαστε αυτή την εβδομάδα όταν πανηγυρίζουμε 200 χρόνια ελευθερία, θυμόμαστε το ρόλο που έπαιξε η Εκκλησία και τι μας δίδαξε ο Θεός, ο Χριστός, και πώς για μας τους χριστιανούς να το συνεχίζουμε αυτό. Σας εύχομαι χρόνια πολλά και ζήτω η Ελλάς. God bless you. Have a wonderful week. Να είστε καλά.